Greetings, cherished friends, kindred spirits, and all who hold a profound love for your homeland, as deep as my own. Today, we embark on a significant, perhaps even philosophical, discourse concerning items we often dismiss as mere household detritus. Take a moment to observe your hands, your garden plots, and recall the considerable effort you invest each year to cultivate fertile soil. Now, consider a common, aged cardboard box, one you likely discarded yesterday into a refuse bin or fed to your fireplace. You made an error. Every time a gardener disposes of cardboard, they are in essence discarding financial gain, the very vitality of their soil, and the promise of future harvests brimming with prize-winning tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. Many will protest, but wait, cardboard, it's already March 15th. It's time to transplant seedlings and soak seeds. To them, I respond, this is precisely the opportune moment. While our neighbors patiently await the complete departure of winter's snow, we, my friends, are off on a quest. Today, I shall illuminate why, in the heart of March, you must become ardent seekers of cardboard. We will delve into the biological underpinnings of this process, the economic advantages for your homestead, and the latent qualities of cellulose, aspects conspicuously absent from the labels of expensive fertilizers. Let us commence with the fundamental inquiry. What precisely is soil? Soil is far more than the mere dirt beneath our feet. It is an incredibly intricate, living entity. And like any organism, it requires nourishment. What we typically offer it: manure, compost, chemical fertilizers. While beneficial, we frequently overlook the bedrock of life itself: carbon. Why is this particularly crucial at this juncture? After a prolonged winter, the soil's microbial community has experienced deprivation, and cardboard represents pure, concentrated carbon, conveniently packaged. If nitrogen is akin to gasoline for growth, then carbon is the very structure of plant life. Corrugated cardboard boasts a carbon content ranging from 40 to 50%. This is the sustained sustenance the earth craves. While commercially produced chemical inputs may leach away with melted snow within a week, cardboard will nourish your garden for months, even years, gradually transforming into invaluable humus. Now, in mid-March, as the earth awakens and begins to respire, this carbon infusion is more vital than ever. We are not merely covering the earth. We are preparing a feast for it. Many of you lament heavy clay soil, which proves intractable to dig in spring. It resembles concrete, your shovel clanging and bouncing off its surface. Others, conversely, struggle with sandy terrain, where water drains away as if into a dry funnel, failing to reach the roots. In both scenarios, the solution is singular: cardboard. Why have I been an advocate for collecting cardboard all winter, and why do I persist in this recommendation today, March 15th? Because to establish a truly functional layer, substantial quantities are required, and the period of snowmelt is our most productive window. Envision this. You line your garden bed with cardboard, thereby creating a unique microclimate beneath it. Cardboard functions as a thermal insulator. Whereas soil beneath bare snow can freeze to a depth of 3 feet under a cardboard blanket, it remains alive, and crucially, it retains moisture. In March, this is paramount. Cardboard absorbs meltwater, preventing spring winds from desiccating the vital subsurface layer. The very earthworms, for whom many procure costly biological treatments, will naturally migrate to your garden once they detect moist cellulose. To them, the underside of a sodden cardboard sheet is akin to an exclusive dining establishment. I have often observed, upon lifting a sheet of cardboard in spring, a scene teeming with activity. Worms consume the softened fibers, aerating the soil with their tunnels, and directly producing pure vermicompost on your garden bed. Furthermore, this nutrient-rich material is distributed uniformly. You rested while they labored. This, my friends, is the essence of intelligent, sustainable agriculture. Let us now address a topic that causes many of us to shudder: weeds. Recall your aching hands and backs after June weeding sessions under the scorching sun. Cardboard, you see, is the world's most environmentally sound and potent herbicide. A dense layer of corrugated cardboard creates a complete light barrier. And we know from our school biology lessons that photosynthesis is impossible without light. Even the most tenacious weeds, such as couch grass or bindweed, which have plagued your plots for years, lose their will to survive beneath cardboard. They expend all their stored energy in a futile search for light, become depleted, and ultimately transform into organic fertilizer for your future plantings. You simply extinguish their right to exist without resorting to a single drop of hazardous chemicals. By May, when planting time arrives, instead of matted turf, you will discover soft, yielding earth. But there is another remarkable property, strategically vital for our beloved tomatoes. Have you noticed how frequently they are afflicted by blight? Many assume the disease descends from the sky with a mist. In reality, the spores of the blight fungus overwinter in the soil. The transmission mechanism is elegantly simple. When you water a plant or during a summer rain shower, heavy water droplets strike bare earth. This creates a micro-explosion effect, launching soil particles, along with spores, onto the lower leaves. However, if your soil is covered with cardboard, this muddy launching pad for disease simply ceases to exist. Cardboard acts as a physical barrier, preventing pathogens from emerging from deeper soil layers. Your tomatoes remain clean, dry, and, most importantly, healthy, eliminating the need for superfluous fungicidal sprays. Moreover, cardboard is an ideal thermal regulator. Currently, in mid-March, the soil experiences immense stress. Daytime sun can be quite warm, yet nighttime frosts remain robust. Cardboard moderates these extremes. In summer, it prevents roots from overheating, a critical factor as tomato growth slows when soil temperatures exceed 25 degrees Celsius, and, at night, it gently releases the heat absorbed during the day. This is, in essence, climate control for your root system. Certain skeptics will undoubtedly exclaim, but cardboard contains glue, ink, and heavy metals. That's chemistry. Friends, let us cast aside these frightening notions and engage our logic. Modern corrugated cardboard is not a product of heavy industry, but rather a result of cellulose reprocessing. In 99% of cases, the adhesive used in the manufacturing of corrugated board is ordinary corn or wheat starch. For soil microorganisms, this is not a poison, but a delicacy. As for the ink, contemporary black printing on shipping containers has long transitioned to organic bases, most commonly soot and soybean oil. We simply adhere to safety precautions. We eschew glossy cardboard with mirror-like finishes or the vibrant lamination found on expensive electronics. These may indeed contain a microscopic layer of plastic. We seek out plain, honest brown cardboard, the kind that smells of wood and readily disintegrates in water. This is our true gold. Let us now turn to practical application. I term this technique the golden layer cake. It's a step-by-step methodology that will transform your plot into a self-regulating ecosystem. The initial stage involves rigorous selection. We require classic corrugated cardboard, 2 sturdy outer layers with a wavy corrugated layer sandwiched between them. Why this specific type? Within these air channels of the corrugation, beneficial aerobes and oxygen-dependent bacteria will flourish in spring. We categorically reject glossy boxes from premium electronics, juice cartons, or milk cartons, Tetra Paks. They conceal a layer of plastic or aluminum foil within. This is refuse, not fertilizer. And it is imperative to meticulously remove all tape and metal staples from the cardboard. This is the most common oversight among novices. If you are remiss and leave plastic tapes attached, your garden will be literally littered with them within a year. Plastic does not decompose. A small tip: if tape is stubbornly adhering to a dry box, do not expend your energy. Simply dampen the cardboard with water, wait 15 minutes, and you will remove all tapes with a single motion. The second stage is preparing the foundation.
Looking good, my
Many
little green
inquire whether
friends?
weeding is necessary before laying the cardboard. My response is a definitive no. This is the very charm and simplicity of the method. We lay cardboard directly over weeds, over dense turf, over everything you have previously battled for years. The grass beneath will be isolated, perish, and become the initial nitrogen-rich meal for your earthworms. A critically important detail: overlap all pieces. The overlap must be at least 15 to 20 centimeters. Remember, weeds are remarkably resourceful. They will exploit any gap to reach the light. Create an impenetrable labyrinth for them, from which there is no escape. The third stage is generous hydration. After laying the cardboard, the bed must be thoroughly saturated with water. Dry cardboard is an insulator. It will merely impede progress. Wet cardboard, however, becomes a habitat. A thoroughly soaked sheet adheres closely to the soil's contours, eliminating air pockets where pests might shelter. And here, today's date, March 15th, works to our advantage. If snow still blankets your garden beds, rejoice. You will not need to haul buckets of water. Simply lay the cardboard directly over the snow crust and then scatter an additional layer of snow on top. Compact it with your feet over the cardboard. Meltwater is the softest and most beneficial, saturating your cake far more effectively than any hose watering. The fourth stage is the finishing touch, the camouflage. Leaving the cardboard exposed is unacceptable. Under direct spring sunlight and wind, it will dry out rapidly and begin to degrade before it can deliver its benefits to the soil. We must, therefore, apply a layer of mulch on top: straw, hay, wood chips, or pine needles. This is not merely for aesthetics. Mulch presses the cardboard firmly against the earth and creates a protective upper layer. By mid-April, when it's time for initial planting activities, your garden bed will resemble an orderly, inviting cake, not a pile of discarded paper. But how does one plant in such a formidable shell? Many make the mistake of assuming they must wait years for the paper to disintegrate into dust. Friends, we do not beg for nature's mercy, we act. We plant seedlings directly through this cardboard armor. The technique is straightforward. Take a sharp knife, make a neat cross-shaped incision precisely where needed. Fold the edges of the cardboard inward or outward. Beneath it, you will discover a remarkable sight. While the soil in neighboring beds remains frozen solid or is covered with a dry crust, here it will be soft, crumbly, and moist. Dig a small hole, add a handful of ash, a bit of compost, or a spoonful of bone meal, and plant your seedling. Now, pay attention to the details. The stem of your tomato or pepper plant will be protected by a cardboard collar. It will not come into contact with damp soil, offering an additional safeguard against root rot. And during watering, by the laws of physics, all water will be drawn directly to the roots through the incision, rather than spreading across the surface and evaporating in vain. You have created an individualized life support system for your plants. Frequently, in the comments section, you inquire about the less favorable aspects: mice and slugs. Let's be frank. Mice are pragmatic creatures. They reside where there's a store of grain or an environment of absolute, dry tranquility. Dense cardboard, thoroughly saturated with March moisture, is hardly the coziest abode for a rodent. It is cold and damp there. As for slugs, I have transformed this issue into an advantage. Yes, slugs are drawn to the moisture beneath the cardboard, but this precisely makes cardboard an ideal, large-scale trap. You will no longer need to crawl on your hands and knees across the entire garden, searching in dense vegetation. Every 3 to 4 days, simply walk along the garden bed, lift the edge of the cardboard, gather all the visitors who have come for lunch, and dispose of them. This is dozens of times more effective and faster than any manual weeding or combating pests in open ground. You are in control of the situation, not the other way around. And now, friends, let us peer into the future. What will transpire in this very spot exactly 1 year from now, next spring? This will be your personal moment of truth. You will approach the garden bed, throw back the layer of old mulch, and simply not recognize your soil. Where last March there was lifeless concrete or barren sand, there will now lie a loose, dark, almost black substrate. It will emit that incomparable, rich aroma of a healthy forest. By this time, the cardboard will have completely dissolved. It will have been consumed without a trace by microorganisms and processed by earthworms. Do you know the ultimate test for soil quality? You will be able to sink your hand into it up to your wrist with absolutely no effort, without using a shovel or a hoe. This is the magic of humus. To clarify, humus is not merely fertilizer. It is a natural accumulator. It can retain moisture in quantities 4 to 6 times its own weight. This is precisely why, on such cardboard-prepared beds, plants do not experience stress during droughts, and your yield increases not by a modest 10%, but by 50 to 100%. This is nature's mathematics working for you. And finally, a professional secret for garden owners. Cardboard is an absolute lifesaver for the soil around the trunks of trees and shrubs. If you're tired of battling weeds beneath your apple trees or currant bushes, do this. Line the circles around the trunks with cardboard, extending at least 1.5 meters from the trunk. Water thoroughly and then cover with wood chips or bark. For years to come, you will forget about weeding in your garden. But the most significant benefit is not even this. You will create a thermal buffer for the roots. In winter, they will be protected from freezing, and in the summer heat, from critical overheating. This is especially important for young saplings. According to my observations, trees with a cardboard base outpace their peers in development by at least 2 years. They simply do not expend energy competing with weeds for water and nutrients. Why do agricultural chemical giants and flashy garden center catalogs remain silent on this matter? The answer is painfully simple. One cannot profit from cardboard. It is vital for them to sell you expensive geotextiles, aggressive herbicides, and endless bags of chemical fertilizers. Cardboard is the enemy of the consumer system. It provides you with all the same benefits, but absolutely free of charge. Utilizing cardboard is not merely about saving money. It is a return to authentic, natural agriculture. We are not reinventing the wheel. We are mimicking the forest floor, where no one has ever dug or applied chemicals, yet where everything grows and flourishes on its own. Your plan for the remainder of March is exceedingly simple. Become the king of boxes. Do not discard packaging from your purchases. Visit your nearest grocery store. Believe me, they will be delighted if you take this waste off their hands. Despite the calendar reading March 15th, you still have a couple of weeks of the most crucial golden preparation time. While the earth is still saturated with cold and moisture, gather your materials, remove the tape. Let this become your evening ritual before the grand season begins. Remember, your land is a mirror. How you treat it today is how it will reward you in August. If you provide it with protection and nourishment in the form of this simple, unpretentious cardboard, it will respond with yields you previously only dreamed of. You will witness the difference not in theory, but on the scales when you are harvesting. Cherish your land, be wise, collect cardboard, and you will undoubtedly reap a bountiful harvest. Thank you for watching until the end. Until our next meeting in the garden beds.